Good morning. This video after the Transfer of Property Act and GST is slightly different. This is not an epic, the greatest of the stories ever told, the Mahabharata. I will be dividing this Mahabharata into three parts, roughly consisting of 20 minutes each. And the first part, I will be narrating the story in brief, and second part about the 18 Parvas. The number 18 has a significance as far as Mahabharata is concerned. It consists of 18 Parvas. The Kurukshetra war lasted for 18 days, and the war was participated by 18 Akshauhinis. And the third part will be depicting the psychological contradictions undergone by various main pivot characters in the Mahabharata, and ultimately what great Vedavyasa was trying to convey to us through the epic Mahabharata. This is the way the topic is divided. And Mahabharata, unlike other epics in Greek or Latin, starts with a great proclamation. Yadi hasti tadanyatra, yene hastina kutrachil. That meaning thereby that what is observed in Mahabharata you may observe elsewhere, but that which is not in Mahabharata you cannot see anywhere else. Such a big claim is made by Vedavyasa in the beginning itself, and the story starts. The Kuru dynasty of Hastinapura was ruled by King Shantanu, and King Shantanu was wedded to Ganga Devi, and while at the time of marriage Ganga Devi told Shantanu that you should not question any of my activities. In case you question, the relationship will come to an end. But at the same time, the Ashtavasus were punished, and they were supposed to take birth in the earth. And accordingly, Ashtavasus came and requested Ganga Devi that as soon as we are born, please kill us so that we will complete our tenure and go back to heaven. So, in the wedlock, 7 kids were born, and all were thrown into Ganges. And when the 8th kid was born, Shantanu questioned her, and leaving the kid, she disappeared. The 8th kid was named as Devavrata. Subsequently, he became Bhishma after taking the great oath of Brahmacharya. So, after Ganga Devi had left Shantanu, he became very sad. But anyhow, time passed, and one day while hunting in the forest, Shantanu came across a fisherwoman named Satyavati. Satyavati had already one child through Parashara, that is Vedavyasa, the storyteller, the narrator. And without knowing all these things, Shantanu proposed her, and she agreed. She put a condition, she and her father put a condition, that the children born out of the wedlock should be the heir apparent of the country. But Shantanu cannot agree because Bhishma was there. Shantanu went back sadly. Subsequently, Bhishma found out the reason, and he approached Satyavati and said her conditions is acceptable. And there Bhishma takes a great oath of Brahmacharya. Accordingly, Devavrata becomes Bhishma. In that wedlock, 2 children were born, Chitrangada and Vichitravirya. Chitrangada died in the early age, and for Vichitravirya, he was wedded to Ambiga and Ambaliga, and Chitrangada also died in a war. So, see the paradox. Satyavati had insisted her kids, her heir apparent should be the kings of the country. Now the entire kingdom has come to a knot. So Satyavati became very worried. She called her son Vyasa asked him to procreate on these Ambika and Ambaliga. But Vyasa told, see, I am a sannyasi. I am living in the dead of forest. I am not a reformed person. They will be scared. Let them understand me, and me also understand them. But Satyavati insisted and told Ambika and Ambaliga to wait for the man on the dead of that night. Vyasa came. Ambika was scared and she closed her eyes, and the offspring was blind Dhritarashtra. Ambaliga was bewildered, and the child born to the wedlock was with scars Pandu. And the children of Dhritarashtra came to be known as Kauravas, and the children of Pandu came to be known as Pandavas. And the scuffle for the country between these two cousins at Kurukshetra subsequently came to be known as the epic Mahabharata. An interesting aspect of Kuru dynasty, Hastinapuri, if we keenly observe, it may be the first Hindu Mitakshara Coparcenary concept. Starting from the great grandfather Shantanu up to Pandavas and Kauravas, that constitute a Mitakshara joint family Coparcenary. Dhritarashtra married Gandhari. Gandhari is from Gandharam, the present day Kandahar in Afghanistan. And 101 children were born. 100 brothers, Duryodhana and Dushasana, and a lone sister, Dushala. And Pandu was having 2 wives, Kunti and Madri. Pandavas were born. After the death of Madri and Pandu, Kunti along with the kids were brought to Hastinapuri, and they were trained under the guidance of Bhishma Pitamah and Dronacharya. Incidentally, Karnan was the eldest of the Pandavas, and as we know, he was thrown into the river, and he was also living in Hastinapuri as the son of a charioteer, Adhiratha. Duryodhana loved all the kids equally, but quite naturally he loved his eldest one a little more, and supporting all his ways and means. And as the eldest, Dharmaputra became the king. Duryodhana cannot sit quiet. He tried to poison Bhima. He escaped. Then tried to burn all of them, Pandavas along with Kunti, at the Arakillam. But through a tip-off from Vidurar, they all escaped. Vidurar was also the son of Vyasa. On the day of when Vyasa came to the Antapura of the kingdom, Niyoga, that is called as Niyogam. So on the day of Niyoga, apart from Ambika and Ambaliga, he had procreated on a maid servant also. So Vidurar is the son of that maid servant. So maid servant was not scared or closed her eyes. So the son born out was a wise man. So as a tip-off from Vidurar, Pandavas and Kunti escaped from the Arakillam, and they escaped into the thickness of the forest. While spending their days, the entire country believed that the Pandavas and Kunti were dead. During their Vanavasam, Draupadi's Swayamvaram was declared. Pandavas participated and came out successful, and they, along with Draupadi, came to meet Kunti. And Arjuna called out, "See, Ma, what we have brought." And without seeing what they have brought, Kunti said, "You, whatever it is there, you take it by all." Accordingly, Draupadi became Panchali. Here all, at various places, including this place, the interpretation of the author gives a lot of food for thought, as Kunti definitely might know after marriage what they will be coming with. let it as it may be. So after the marriage, the entire country came to know that Pandavas were not dead. They were brought back to the kingdom. Kingdom was divided into two under the guidance of Bhishma Pitamah, and of course the better part was taken by Duryodhana. But anyhow, through their able guidance and they made their part into a prosperous country. Indraprastham was developed, and there a beautiful building was constructed by Mayan, and Duryodhana was invited to meet that beautiful construction, wherein he skipped in the floor and Draupadi laughed, the famous Panchali's laughter, which irritated, which some has told may be the reason for the entire war at Kurukshetra. Duryodhana, watching the prosperity of Indraprastha, cannot sit quiet. So he made so many plans in consultation with Shakuni, his uncle, Gandhari's brother. He is very notorious in the entire Mahabharata. So Shakuni advised him to invite Dharmaputra for a game of dice, because he knows the king's weakness on game of dice. And the rest is history. He lost everything. For Duryodhana, Shakuni will be playing, and Dharmaputra lost everything, his kingdom, his brothers, including wife. And then Draupadi was brought to the courtyard. She asked whether Dharmaputra has pledged him first and then pledged her. That was a crucial question. Only Bhishma can answer it, but he kept quiet. There were symptoms of bad omen. Foxes were howling. So Vidura advised Dhritarashtra to free all of them. So accordingly Dhritarashtra freed them. But again, see the plight. Again, as advised by Shakuni, Duryodhana again invited for one more round of game of dice, and Pandavas lost. Dharmaputra, who is playing on behalf of the Pandavas, lost. And this time the punishment was to undergo 12 years of forest living, and 1 month in incognito, Ajnatavasam. So all went to the forest. They were living there, and after successfully completing their 12 years, for the last 1 year of exile, after hiding all their armory in a keyhole, in a tree hole, and they left to Virada. In the kingdom of Virada, they all lived a disguised life, and Virada king's brother-in-law, the Kichaka, was disturbing Panchali. Panchali complained to Bhima, and for all complaints, Panchali usually approaches Bhima. And on the dead of night, Bhima, cladding Panchali's ornaments and apparels, went there and killed Kichaka. So there is a saying in the vernacular Malayalam, Konnadu Bhimanengil, Chattadu Kichaganengil, Konnadu Bhiman, meaning thereby the person killed was Kichaka, then the killer is none other than Bhima. So after the killing of Kichaka, again the Pandavas were identified, and Kauravas attacked Virada, but in the war they won. Virada won with the support of the Pandavas, and by the time they were identified, 13 years exactly, the 13-year period was over. So at that point of time, Dharmaputra sends a messenger for peace. Krishna went for a peace messenger, and interestingly in Mahabharata, at that point of time, the two people who objected to a deal was Kunti and Draupadi. Draupadi told Krishna that you don't forget my fallen hair. Krishna never forgot it. Anyhow, the mission was a failure. They said they will not give an inch, and ultimately it paved for the war at Kurukshetra. By quoting an episode from the Kurukshetra front, I will conclude this video. So Shri Krishna was the charioteer for Arjuna. So the first day Arjuna requested Krishna to take him to the center place of the war front, the no man's land. And there, after seeing all his friends and relatives, Arjuna was bewildered. Arjuna asked Shri Krishna, Swajanam hi kadam hatva sukhina shyama madhava. By killing all these friends and relatives, what we are going to gain? And Shri Krishna's advice was, Nimitta matram bhava savyasajin. You are only a cause. What is happening is something else. As a Kshatriya, your role is to kill, annihilate. Let us see what happens in the next video. Thank you.